Yo, yo, yo. It's your man MAS. I am back with another one. Alright. Solo leveling episode 5. We here for it. Alright. So far the episodes have been amazing. To me, like just top notch. Alright. It's really refreshing to kind of get an anime like this in quite a while, you know? So for me, I'm grateful. Alright. For me, I love the content. Alright. Well, we could just get straight into it, alright? This new ability he has is crazy. And what makes it the most crazy is that anybody who's ever lost weight, did a couple push-ups, pull-ups, they've all been familiar with this ability. I call it AKA the seduce ability, all right? Because the episode kind of came in hot and heavy. And when I say hot and heavy, I'm like, okay, like when you lose weight, and here's the thing, like, cause I'm big into like working out and fitness. When you lose weight, you essentially unlock like your potential, like a hidden character. You know, when you play like a fighting game, it's like a hidden character that you didn't know anything about. But when you unlock it, a whole new world opens up to you. All right. So this new, I'm just gonna call it this new seduce ability is crazy. All right. Of course, clearly we already know the power up Sung is not the same one from episode 1. I feel like it's very blatant, like that young 8 Mile kid, you know, knees were buckling, like he's not that dude anymore. All right. Sung 3.0 has power crap. Sung 1.0, it's a completely different person. Like even the man's voice, the bass in his voice, I was like, Jesus, like this is a completely different person. To the haircut, I don't know, maybe somebody cut his hair at the hospital. Different person. But his new ability, but like forget the power-ups, right? Forget like the strength ability, the intellect, like this seduce ability. The women are just talking about him at the hospital. I'm like, damn, this ability, like this is like one of those, I don't know what you call it, like abilities that activate even when they're not active, like one of those passive abilities. That's the best way to describe it. This seduce ability is like a passive ability. Like he's not even trying to activate it. It just automatically is always on. It's always on 100. And these girls smell it, they see it. I mean, she damn near gave him his phone. Like it was like a job interview. Like, please take my number. I'm like that. So listen, if you've been in his shoes, all right, I'm nowhere near has Sung, but I've felt that before. You know, it feels good. The attention feels good. The level up feels good. All right, that ability always feels good. I call it if you ever seen, like, I think it's called True Blood. If you've ever seen True Blood, like Glamour, and like the vampires, they do something to charm you, and it's like ability, and like you just do anything that they say. That's Sung now, and I'm telling you, this ability he never really needed or knew he needed. Like just crazy. All right, so let's just first and foremost, the thirst is like over 100, and like I said, the thing that makes it realistic is that any man can get this ability if you work hard enough. All right. So yeah, I feel like he deserves it. He's worked hard. No, he deserves to bear the fruit of his labor. All right. So just out the gate, the seduce ability is OP. It's OP. All right. And you deserve to experience that too if you're watching this video, man or woman. The seduce ability is OP. But let me see what else I got on my show notes. All right. So, I mean, moving on, regardless of just the seduce ability, clearly the training is taking other effects outside of just like the screens that he sees. All right. So like besides just putting points into stats, it kind of shows in real life. Of course, like his body's changing. I feel like if he puts points into like intelligence or other things, like that will also change. So it's very cool. It's like whatever points he's putting in like a real video game, it actually shows itself in like his everyday real life, which is to me is like sick, right? I wish that could be a case in like real life too, but there's some games. Are there games that do that? Like there's some games where it's like you could put points into attributes and like your character, you'll see your character actually physically change, like the appearance, not just like, because in most games the abilities will change. You'll notice that your character is able to do like these neat, you know, tricks and skills, but for the most part, most games, like, the appearance doesn't really, like, change. You'll have to, like, that's like cosmetics. You have to change it. But I feel like there are a few video games. If you guys know some, let me know. But there are a few video games where, like, when you change a character's attributes, like, their actual physical appearance change. The most I know is, like, maybe, like, Pokemon, where it's, like evolution. Like, when the evolution happens, he changes. But, I mean, listen, like I said, like, Sung 3.0 is completely different from Sung 1.0. All right, that power creep is, like, disgusting. I'm like, yo, like I said, my man's voice changed, his appearance changed. If you saw Sung in episode 1 and you see him now, you think that they'll be related. Like, oh, that's your little brother, right? No, that's him. Like, how many is that? Was that like a day or was that like weeks? I felt like that must have been like in real life. In order for me to get that kind of transformation, I would have dedicated like a month, maybe like 3 months to, like, I mean, I really gotta get my body fat down. I really gotta get shredded. And then I can get that seduce ability like Sung got. But with him, and you know, this ability that he has, like, my man is just getting it. He went to the hyperbolic time chamber, just getting it like that. All right. But I think he only goes into the hyperbolic time chamber when he doesn't do the training the screens tell him to do. So from my understanding, if he does the trainings, then he doesn't have to go into the hyperbolic time chamber, which is basically like the penalty. It's like, hey, so you got to get this training one way or another, right? But, like, if he does, like, the push-ups and everything like that, he doesn't need to do it, all right? So if you do 100 push-ups like Saitama from One Punch Man, like, you can also get that ability as well. But yeah, I mean, like I said, all the women are falling for him. The issue was, which kind of threw me off, was like, yo, like, his sister saw him. And I was like, please, I'm loving the show so far. Please don't tell me his sister's also going to fall all over. I'm like, yo, like they get down like that in Korea? Like, please tell me no, which wasn't the case. But I thought, like, because the way the episode started, every girl and their mama was falling over him or, like, fawning over him, right? So when his sister saw him and she saw the abs, she was like, so I thought, like, yo, come on, like, let's not go that route. And they didn't, which is great. I'm like, yo, hopefully we're not promoting, like, incest over here. But I, like, the way it was going, I thought his sister was going to fall in line too, which was going to be kind of creepy. But great, his sister's just like, there's something different about you. So, I mean, like, whoever created the show, they caught that, right? They didn't want to go that route. I almost felt like they were going to go that route, which, I mean, I would have gave them kudos. Like, yo, that's very, like, edgy. That's very extreme. Like, they're really emphasizing, you know, this seduce ability not only works on women that's not in your family, but women in your family. That would have been hella creepy. But that wasn't the case. She just says, I think there's something different about you. All right? But he's like, I don't know what you're talking about. All right? But yeah, so the sister's noticing the changes, but I feel like it's probably going to be really, really prominent when he starts, like, beating those monsters to a pulp. You know it's going to happen. Even the way the episode ended, you know it's about to happen. All right? So let's move on to the next show note. All right, so Sung finally gets out of the hospital, and, you know, he is somewhat familiar with, like, what's going on. He's not fully familiar with his new abilities, but he has, like, some semblance of an idea. All right, so he's like, all right, back to the grind, back to the mission. That's the one thing I will say I love about Sung. Like, he never forgets his purpose. All right, no matter how these women fall all over him, no matter how, if he chooses to abuse his seduce ability, all right, if he wants to abuse it, that's to each man's own discretion. All right, just use protection out here. But he still has his mentality. Like, yo, he gotta support his sister. He gotta be the man in the family. He gotta, you know, help out his mom, who's in a magic coma. It's basically a coma, but, like, magical. So Sung was like, nah, I got to get back to the grind, which I will always respect, right? So now the issue that he's noticing is his rank, all right? So all because things are changing in his intermediate life doesn't mean that his reputation out here wasn't already trash, all right? His reputation out here is trash. He's an E-rank hunter. Even, like, one of the people who he ends up clicking up with in the group, it's like, oh, aren't you, like, I know you, your reputation is like the worst hunter ever. Like, his reputation is garbage, right? Doo-doo, like, you know, which is the case with animes, you know, like, the severe underdog. So Sung has always been a severe underdog. The thing about it is that That's the old him. They don't know the new him. The new him is about to stunt on all these fools. All right, about to stunt on all these fools. Okay, but his reputation is trash. So he's like, I need to earn more money, and it wouldn't even be a big deal if he just like started picking up jobs. The issue is, which he kind of caught on to, which is insightful. It's like, all right, well, what's the likelihood that somebody's going to hire me for jobs anyway because my reputation is so bad? So he essentially has to come up with a way to like, I would say like uplift his reputation so that he can get, well, he's not even like for like a vain reason where it's like he just want notoriety. Like he needs to increase his reputation so he can get better jobs, so he can make more money, because Sung is a hustler. All right, so he's about the money, he's about the bread, and it's mainly just for his family. All right, so that's what he's aiming to do at the moment. And the thing about the show that really takes a lot of elements from video games. All right, so granted it's solo leveling, like the aspect of leveling up, right? But I thought the more I watched it, the more like I thought it was cool. So if you're familiar with a lot of video game terminology, then a lot of stuff wouldn't be surprising to you. All right, so it's like, so he goes out to try to increase his reputation, find whatever job he can, and I think he's going to try to do like the best job he could, so that his name kind of rings like ding dongs in people's heads, like oh he's kind of fire, yeah, let me hire him for this job. So he finds this group. And the terminologies of like a tank, a DPS, a healer, like inventory. It's like different things where it's like, all right, if you're familiar with like video games, like debuff, all those things, like then when you're watching the show, it's gonna make a lot of sense. If you're watching what we call solo leveling for the first time and you don't really play video games, I get it. It might seem kind of foreign because you're not familiar with the terminology, but even when I started playing video games, I was like, a DPS. What's a DPS? DPS is just like damage per second. All right. So like I said, if you like frequent video games, then you'll get a lot of the terminologies off the bat, and you'll think it's cool. It's like, okay, like, but if you've never played it, it might take some time to like just look it up. As they're saying the terms, just look it up on Google, and you'll realize like, oh, a tank. A tank is somebody who's supposed to be like taking the grunt of the damage, right? And then the DPS is the person who's attacking, like high attack power. And the healer is the person that's like healer or support, the person that supports the group. So just keep that in mind when watching the show, especially if you're not really familiar with video games. That's what the terms come from, right? But the thing that kind of stood out to him was like, oh, like this is a team just full of healers. No, my bad. This is a team that's full of tanks and maybe like a few support units, but not really a healer. And that's always a red flag, especially like if you ever played like a MMO, right? It's like, okay, so you guys have a DPS, you have a tank, but you guys do not have a healer. Like, how are you guys getting through these dungeons? And the way the guy who was offering him like the job was like yeah, like we have a pretty solid group. Like he said a couple things that were definitely like red flags, and they've done all this without a healer. And in real life, quote unquote, in MMO real life, you need a healer, especially for like these dungeons with like the better rewards, because you're gonna get smacked. I've been there. You're gonna get smacked, especially because in his world, I basically equate his world to Elden Ring. All right, Sung has an Elden Ring-esque type of show, all right. And if you know anything about Elden Ring, that game will smack you. That game will, like pretty much a Dark Soul type of game. That game will smack you. So you need a healer. You need a way to kind of self-sustain. It's just not enough to do DPS. And if you're going to be a DPS, your DPS better be off the charts, because the damage in his world is sickening, right? So automatically, Sung heard that, thought it was a red flag. But I mean, what does he care? He needs the money. So he's like, yo, as long as I get paid. The thing was like, yo, just be part, because we need to meet like the number requirements to even participate. You do that, sign this contract, you're going to get paid. He's like, bet. I don't gotta do anything. Bet. And like I told you in the last episode, Sung is a different person now. He's not trying to save these hoes, all right? If it wasn't for that one girl that he got whipped for, he would have let those other previous hunters to kind of do. Sung is a different dude, all right? But he needs the money, so he's like, all right, cool. I don't gotta do anything. This sounds amazing. And he kind of like assesses the group. The kid who has like a lot of money but all the armor, but is really like a low rank too. So Sung he's a different type of dude now. He's very not only chiseled, but like he's very analytical. He's catching on to things. I would argue that Sung was still kind of always like that even before this power up, but this kind of just highlights it a little bit more. All right. So next talking point before we get into the dungeon. All right. At some point in the episode, right, they show off like another S-class hunter. All right. Besides Shorty, Miss Cha, I call her Somersault to Death. You know what I mean? I'm never gonna forget that first episode. First episode was fire. That somersault, that slow-mo. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of seducing elements. I don't think she got it like Sung. That Sung's seduce ability that's the passive I need in every video game. All right. I need the female NPCs to like like help me do these quests, you know, to be default. All right. Like, that ability is crazy. But they showed off another S-class hunter. I forget his name. I think his name is Mr. Beck or something like that. He's probably going to be a very prominent character, very, very skilled or whatnot. He used to be a firefighter. So, you know, in shows like this, they got to show off different power levels. You know, it's important to kind of show the discrepancy. So between that character, Mr. Beck, and a Sung or another regular hunter, right? So they show him training, and again, they got a stunt, right? That's the purpose of like the show itself, to kind of show the viewer the discrepancies of power level. So I think he's training, other hunters are training, but they hear like this boom, 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 like somebody's like bombing on them. And it's like, yo, like the one hunter was like, yo, like what's going on? It's like, nah, don't worry about it, you get used to it. That's just my man training. Like, excuse me? Like, yeah, that's how he trains. He's the one that's causing these explosions. Don't mind him. So I'm like, yo, they doing that like that. So again, they gotta show me, the viewer, if he's for real. Cause I know Sung is for real, but like this dude, Mr. Beck with the red hair, he trying to be a Chad. I don't know if he's for real. But the boom, boom, boom. So they're trying to show me that this guy's about that business. All right. So who went in the fight between Sung and that guy? I'm assuming that guy for now, but Sung is that guy. Even if he loses, he probably just needs to level up. All right. But, you know, they try to highlight Mr. Beck or whatever his name is, punching like these block cylinders. And, you know, they're trying to give him like the One Punch Man treatment. Like, he's so powerful. Punch through the thing. He also looks like a Chad. He probably also has the seduce ability. He used to be a firefighter. He's everything you want in a man. Okay. So just highlighting him, putting him into the mix. I'm not sure who went between him and, you know, the Somersault to Death, but I am curious to highlight her more. So just bringing him into the element, you're probably going to see that with a lot more characters as well. The show kind of giving them little cameos and like highlighting their abilities, right? But then we get to the main part, the part where I kind of know what's going to happen anyway. Did I know he was going to, like the tank guy was going to betray them? No. So that was refreshing. I thought it was going to be a situation where they were going to try to smuggle out the mana crystals, right? Without trying to wake up the spider. So I thought they were going to try to do that as a group. But Sung was so intuitive, right? Where he's like, something's off, right? Like they've been in other groups. How come they didn't just reach out to the people who've worked with them before? Is because all of them died, all right? And basically what happens is they supposedly left them for dead. So he's like, oh no, I gotta talk to my teammates. Y'all just wait here. We're gonna come back for y'all. With that look in his eye where it's like he tells his teammate, you'll block off the entrance, all right? And I feel like if you watch the show, you're gonna be shocked that like, yo, how could they do that? Like, I am telling you, like this show, you could tell based on episode 1, like these dudes are like these people are grimy, okay? Besides like the one old dude from the episode 1, like yeah, like they stay dipping off on the crew, all right? So if you watch my episode 2 reaction of Solo Leveling, a lot of life lessons, all right? But just off of that, you could tell this world like is you know, what's that phrase, like dog or eat dog or something like that. Like you got to grind out here, right? They are not trying to save you. You will be left behind. They left Sung behind. Sung technically died. This Sung that you see now is not the same Sung. This is the power creep Sung. This is the whole new world Sung. The Sung before he technically died, all right? Because the same people that are betraying him, this is a different group of people. Guess what? Same mentality. Fuck your feelings, all right? They left him, all right? And I remember when Sung was on that little thing about to get sacrificed by these huge monsters, his life is flashing before his eyes. Like, these people will do that to you in this world, all right? This world is grimy, All right. So I don't think Sung was that surprised. I think the other kid was surprised, and it kind of sucked because he was kind of beating himself up. He was like, man, like if I never asked him about the contract, like bro, like even if you didn't bring up the contract, he was still to dip off on you. All right. But the thing about it, as the viewer, this is great. This is the kind of setup that you need for Sung to show off his abilities, and he's probably going to make sure this kid stays alive so you can spread his good name. Be witness to Sung's greatness as he whips the spider to shape. Now, I mean, he puts the, because essentially he was like a water boy, right? He picked up the job, was like, I'm gonna get paid regardless. So he's essentially a water boy, but Sun doesn't care. But he put his bag down. All right, yo, you just hold my beer. All right, I'm gonna take care of this spider. We gonna get us out of here. I'm gonna get that money. I signed the contract. I'm gonna get that money. I probably deserve these mana crystals too, but I mean, hold my beer. I'm light work. So this is pretty much the perfect chance for us to show off Sung's ability. He was put in an unfortunate situation, but the thing that people don't know is that he's not the same dude. All right, because they were bragging about, oh, he was like the worst hunter. Aren't you the guy, the worst hunter? He's about to increase his reputation in a matter of like minutes. All right, so Sung's about to put in that work. Next episode, you're about to see just how sick Sung is. All right, we're about to see if he has any other abilities besides the seduce ability. The seduce ability is OP. I need that ability, but in this next episode, Sung is about to put it down. All right, but overall, that's my review of episode 5. Looking forward to episode 6. Again, this show is very refreshing. Definitely like, comment, subscribe. It's your man MES. I'm out.